Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and free audiobook. More information on this incredible sponsor coming up later in the podcast. But for now, let's just get to some shenanigans. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
And I'm sailing away.
Styx. You are Styx. I don't know the lead singer for Styx. Do you know the lead singer?
No, and I only really know that line. So, yeah. But I'm in a singing mood today, Zach. You know why?
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to the Oklahoma musical that you just told me you were going to do. So everybody strap in. There's going to be different sections to this podcast.
Oh, definitely. And we'll have to do an intermission because we're going for 3 hours.
Grab your popcorn whenever we break in the middle.
Absolutely. I'm just happy to see your face, bud. Oh, good. Mountain Dew. Not even Diet Mountain Dew. You fat fuck.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. Haven't done anything yet, and I'm probably going to. You know what, Johnny? If I have somehow miraculously lost weight, I think you should just call this whole thing off tonight.
No.
It's probably a good call.
What did you have for dinner today?
I actually have not had dinner yet.
Good. Don't eat. Anorexia, that's my trick.
You know what? I needed this today because I like to call it my woosah juice.
Yeah, well, you know they make a diet version. What,
with aspartame?
Yeah, that's clinically proven to have no effect. So you'd rather drink a shit ton of sugar, which is guaranteed to give you diabetes, heart disease, and stroke, and cancer. Instead of the chance that a chemical...
Wilford Brimley.
Zach, I don't even know the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. All I'm faced with is a wall of disappointment in you.
Hey, man, I'm sorry to disappoint you, dude.
Look, this is what I'm drinking. A Bublé.
Ooh, a Michael Bublé.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is that the... Just Haven't Met You Yet, Michael Bublé, or is that the... Sinatra singing some Sinatra stuff, Michael Bublé?
Again, I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
Hey, you said the words you said the word Bublé.
I did, so I assume he's like in the commercials for him. You haven't seen those? Ooh, maybe that's a Canadian thing because he's Canadian.
Is Michael Bublé Canadian?
I'm pretty sure. Fact checker, look it up.
Oh, yep. Wait.
Oh, wait. How have you been, Zach?
I've been good. You know what? As much as I've missed your face and your voice and your surprisingly thick beard that is coming in nicely, dude.
You like that?
It looks really good.
I'm bringing the beard back.
Dude, you should. Oh, yeah. Oh, and the lines are clean, too. Have you met up with your barber recently?
No. I see him next week, though. So it does need to get, like, a little... I got some random sprouters.
Don't take the sprouters. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe level it up, but definitely don't do anything with the length.
No, I'm not.
I'm not
doing anything drastic.
Yeah, man, because it looks good. As soon as that hair on your cheeks just grows a little bit, it's going to cover a lot more, and then from the side, it's going to look a lot fuller. I'm really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Really looking forward to that. Speaking of beards. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want to jump into beards yet. I wanted to continue that stream of consciousness that I just had a minute ago. As much as I've missed your face and your beard, I did really enjoy our last 2 episodes, our solo podcasts.
I agree completely.
So this one's done, Johnny, and you're gonna. I'm just kidding. Every week we're just gonna alternate, and we're just gonna pass the baton off to one another.
You know what we need is we need to get Joey to do a solo podcast.
That would be so fun. A Joe spot. We'd call it the Joe spot.
Oh, the Joe spot.
I like it. it.
It'd be about like gardening and...
Oh, God. You know that's what he would do, right? He would just prepare an hour of gardening talk.
He would just read the information sections on the back of seed packs. That's it.
He would just purposefully tank our podcast. Yeah. All of our listeners would just hop off board.
Well, it's the only thing he has on us. Doesn't have looks. Doesn't have ping pong skills.
I mean, I think I'm lowest on the pecking board as far as looks go. I would say it's between you and Joe for the best
I'll wrestle
looking.
Him for it.
There you go. And then I'll take the beard crown, and then that can be mine.
It balances out. You do have the beard crown. There's no doubt about it.
No
Joe
denying
has
it.
the hippie hair crown. And
he used to. I don't know that he does right now.
That's true. I think he's gone to clean himself up.
Well, he's in full dad prep mode. He's in dad prep mode. His baby's 3 months away, dude. How crazy is that?
Holy fuck balls.
Holy fuck balls is right. Joe is gonna be a dumpster fire of a dad, huh?
No, well, probably.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying things for the podcast. Joe's gonna be an amazing dad.
He doesn't even listen to this podcast anymore. We can say anything we want about him.
He sent me a message the other day. He sent me a message the other day about episode 102. That's not true. He didn't. No, he didn't. But that's probably how far behind he is.
I do like when you get the Snapchats from him and it's us in the background talking shit about him and he just makes the face. It's like,
yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. He sent me one. I think it was Snapchat. He sent me one where it was like me saying that we don't even think about him anymore. This is like a few weeks back or something. Oh man.
I think Joe backed out in like what, episode 30?
36 I think was my was when I think that was episode 36
solo.
How not to podcast I think was episode 36 or it could have been 37. I'm trying to recall.
I'm pretty sure he's been mentioned almost, I would say 90% of the podcast since.
Yeah, I mean our listeners don't, I feel like most of our listeners at this point don't know Joe as a former host.
How would you, if you had to describe Joe in 10 words or less for our newer listeners, what would you use?
That'd be less than 10 words. I'm just kidding. You know what? I would say forgetful. I would say funny. I would say smart.
Debatable.
I would say
you're struggling. You only got 3.
I would say
sentences. Right?
I would say he's a funny drunk. I've got a story on that.
Funny drunk. All right, that's 5. You're halfway there.
Yeah, we'll just stop there.
All right. Yeah. See that, Joe? You only get 5 words.
Do you want to continue? You know what, Johnny? Do you have 5 more that you want to throw on the end of that? It's probably something bad about ping pong.
Very bad at ping pong.
The other 5, very good. So I mentioned how Joe was he's a funny drunk. So this past weekend, I think it was Friday maybe, he was out playing some poker. He's been doing some poker recently. But apparently
Joe always gets into weird shit, you know?
Right? Yeah, and it's not even like online poker. Like he's out. He's out sitting at a table. But listen, he was playing with lawyers.
Oh.
So, no. He apparently was not winning. Apparently he was not winning. He said towards the end he was trying to lose, but he was apparently doing well enough to stay afloat. And then by the end,
Wait, why was he trying to lose?
Because I was playing video games, and he was like, oh, okay, well, I should be home by 11, and it was like 11:30, and he was like, I'm trying to lose, whatever, but I don't believe that.
Well, that's really easy to try and lose. You go all in on every hand all the time.
Yeah, but maybe he was getting some magic cards or something like that, and just had a good enough bluff.
I played World Series of Poker on the iPhone app for a while, and you start off with like $2,000 or whatever. It's all fake, obviously. But it made me wonder, like, So I took that 2,000 and over the span of, like, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe a month, I went up to, like, 50 million. And I was like, damn, I could do this.
Yeah.
Allie was so pissed. I was playing it, like, leading up to the wedding and then right after the wedding. So we were in Jasper and in this, like, sweet cottage, and she'd be reading a book and I'd be just, like, jamming on fucking poker, like obsessively, like gotta get a couple hands in.
Were you playing actual people?
Yeah.
Or is it bots?
No, it's actual people.
Oh man, so you should have been betting real money then somewhere.
Well, it would have been nice.
Because I mean, if you jump from 2,000 to 50 million, dude,
Well, I had to do some ballsy. Sometimes you just go all in, and then
Sure.
I learned that there's guys who, because it's fake money, so it doesn't really matter.
People play a lot more loose, probably.
A little loosey goosey, and then there's always those guys that try and buy the blind. So every hand they're like going like triple blind, and it's just fuck off, guys. Like,
you know what?
Play the flop. Just
Yeah.
let's see the flop, and I hate that. And then there's nothing worse than when someone goes all in when they pick up their hand, and then you do the smart thing and you fold unless you have good cards, and then you get like that random straight, and you're just like, God damn it, I would have fucking won.
Right. Let's see the flop is a phrase that I hear often in the bedroom.
Yeah, the flop of disappointment.
No. No, it's a thunderous clap at the end of the flop.
Oh, so it's just really a small object falling from really far up and reaching terminal velocity?
Well, but in order to fall from really far up, that means it has to be long because it's attached to my groin area, right? If it's falling from really far up,
works, bud. You have long legs.
Am I falling from a great distance with the little
maybe.
thing that we're talking about? Because otherwise, if it's falling from a great distance, that has to mean we're talking about dicks. Yep. No, so
put 'em in your mouth.
I've never been big on poker. I'm just not a gambling person, as I've talked about on the podcast before.
You're
But
gambling
Joe,
right now with your weight and your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sucking on that Mountain Dew.
Just roll the dice. Just roll the dice. Am I going to wake up tomorrow? Roll the dice.
You never know. You never know, Zach.
Never know. You could go in the middle of the night, dude. I hope you don't.
I got about 18 years left on this world. I'm pretty positive. So I've chosen to accept that as my fate. So I'm just gonna go with it.
Dude, that better not happen, dude. At least I don't know. You take good enough care of yourself. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, but I do a lot of risky activities.
It's true. You're always sending me Snapchats of you shooting guns, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you shoot them straight up in the air, and you try and catch the bullets.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Do that with arrows sometimes, you know? It's real fun.
Oh, yeah. I do that with lawn darts, even though you can't buy those anymore. By the way, I think that's what's the matter with the world today is nobody's getting just completely stabbed
100%
through the chest with lawn darts.
Darwinism, we have nullified Darwinism, and it's just forced poor breeding.
We've rounded all the corners.
We nerfed this world.
But back to Joe. So he finally loses, and
he buys back in.
No, he doesn't.
Because he hates losing. He's
but
competitive.
apparently, yeah, he does. And that probably is why he was so incredibly drunk when he called me up. He called me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm going home." I was like, "All right, man. Well, I'll be waiting, to play some Fortnite with you." And he was like, "Okay, cool. I'm getting ready to longboard home, drunk, and it's raining." I was like, "Okay,
wait,
cool, man."
So, I think what really happened here is Joe was really drunk and actually playing Go Fish with a bunch of homeless people, and he just thought he was playing poker with some lawyers. Fucking
these guys
longboard.
These guys were super good.
Yeah.
Do you have any fives?
Poor Joey.
That's funny. I never thought about it, but that's definitely a possibility that could have happened. So he gets home. Whatever. He gets on Xbox. We fucking try to play a couple games before night. He's incredibly drunk. He's, if you knew Joe in video games, he's usually pretty good. He's usually on his game.
Average at best.
Pretty good with the video games, and I could tell just from the way he was playing that he was just not there, He's just not there at all. And there were a couple times where he's like getting shot at and he's like, "Up," and he would die, He didn't
just
try.
accepts his fate.
He's like, pretty much. Up. And then at the end, so we played 2 games, and I was like, all right, man, we should probably both go to bed. Because at this point, it was like, I don't know, 12:30, something like that.
Was this a weeknight?
I think it was Friday.
No,
it wasn't Friday. It was... Was it Friday? I don't know. I can't remember exactly. All the days are blending together at this point. But at the end, I'm like, all right, man, we should both go on to bed. And we're on an Xbox party chat, and he's like, I'm on the floor. Like, you're on the floor? All right, man, get up. Get up and go to bed.
That's where he slept that night.
He's like, I can't. I'm just going to stay here. I was like, all right, man, well, you should definitely get up and make your way to your bed so that you have a restful night's sleep. Apparently he did make his way to the bed.
Oh, that's
But
good.
in order for Joe to get to his bed, he's got to climb up 2 flights of stairs. So that must have been pretty funny. And on the way, apparently, he got sick.
I imagine he was probably smarter to stay on the floor. I'm just thinking about drunk, obnoxious Joe.
Sure.
Climbing upstairs, making a shit ton of noise, all while having a pregnant wife trying to sleep at, between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
I was thinking more of just the funny stories that were going to end up coming from it. Because if he just falls asleep on the floor, then it's whatever.
Well, that's fair. But if Nikki murders him, which should have every right to do so.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I said her name. Maybe we should bleep that. My bad.
Yeah, no, we've said her name before on the podcast.
All right.
It's okay. Yeah, so anyway, it's that was my funny drunk Joe story.
Yeah, well, that was good. That was beautiful.
How's everything going for you, Johnny? What's new?
I lit my car on fire.
Wait. So like, why was that something that took so long to think about?
I don't know, because I'm pissed off at it.
What else happened this week that you had to filter everything else out to pick the most boring thing that you could think of, which was setting your car ablaze?
I mean, it was accidental.
Which car was it?
The Corolla.
You set the Corolla on fire?
It was a small fire, a little electrical fire. We dealt with it.
Was it in the engine?
No, it's under the dash.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, basically the story is I've been working on it and I've gotten into like a pretty decent spot, and I have some other priorities in life, and kind of want another motorcycle.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about it. You're trying to offload it.
Yeah, so I had 2 guys come on Sunday. First guy, super interested, pretty chill. Was like, cool, I'll get back to you. I got to round some stuff up. Next guy came a couple hours later. Older dude, really into Corollas, awesome. Was basically like, all right, I'm ready to buy this thing. Can we take it around the block? And I was like, yeah, let me fire it up. Put a new battery in it. Plug the battery in, like negative first.
Mm-hmm.
Go power. And the battery arcs on me. And I was like, ooh, that was weird. I was like, all right, well, whatever. Shit happens. I didn't get shocked. And then I look inside the car, and it's just filling with bellows of smoke. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I, like, ripped the battery out really quick and, like, dove under the dash, ripped all the carpet out, and just started, like, blowing everything in there to try and blow whatever was out, and, like, ramming my hand up in the wires trying to make sure there's no active flame. Yeah, so the guy was like, yeah, so I'm not going to buy the car. I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't buy it either. So...
yeah.
Now I got to figure that shit out.
Damn, dude. So you were ready. You were almost ready. That thing was pretty much good as sold.
Yeah, I joked. I was like, so realistically, 9 out of 10. How, like, where were you at for buying this car? He's like, honestly, man, if you drove me around the block, I would have bought it right now. Fuck!
Damn.
Yep, so that's my weekend project. I'm going to, root around in some wiring and probably get mad and then really light it on fire. Just kidding, insurance.
Or is he?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, the irony is, like, for a little while, I kept joking, like, oh, someone could steal it. I'll take the insurance payout, or, it could just light on fire or whatever. Or, like, my garage will light on fire.
Oh, yeah, I dove out. I was about to roll into a ravine. Oh, gosh, I'm so lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and then the car actually lights on fire, and my first instinct is to save that thing's fucking life. I was like, God damn it, car.
Yeah, but it was also, inside your garage?
It could burn that, too. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, if it were outside, would you have had a double take moment where you're like,
no,
maybe just let it go?
There's nothing in that garage that I couldn't replace, and it's all insured. So, like, I know we need a new garage. I could have built the bigger garage. It would have been perfect. We would have used insurance money to build a bigger garage, but no, I'm a goody two-shoes, so I dive into a confined space without looking, filling with smoke and putting out a fire that I can barely see to save a car.
Damn, man.
It was good times. So, I was a little bit sad on Sunday.
How much was he going to buy it for?
A lot.
$24,000.
Less than that, but it was enough.
20,000.
It got me. Yeah, it got me to the point where I was like, okay, I'm okay to let this go. Like $1,000 a year attrition, it's okay. So
I'm sorry, dude.
Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get pissed. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fall back in love with it, and I'm not gonna want to sell it again. I'm gonna drive it, and then over the winter, I'm gonna get pissed because it's sitting in the garage, and then I'm gonna get mad at it, and then I'm gonna try it in spring, and then something else will break.
Well, just remember how you're feeling right now with that car, and when you fix it, just be ready to remember this moment and how frustrated you were with it.
It's like,
and then just let it go.
It's like an ex-girlfriend that was a stripper or a porn star. It's like batshit crazy, and you know it's bad for you. And it doesn't really bring joy to your life.
Yeah.
But it's a good ride, so, you always come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Not that I have any experiences with strippers, I swear.
Big eyes. Very, very big eyes.
I'm a married man. I have been on great behavior for the last 6-7 years. I don't know how long have Allie and I been together. I don't even know what year it is anymore.
Oh, wow. It's 2019, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
You just woke up from a coma.
Oh, this was all a dream?
Yeah, man.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the car is on fire or not on fire? I'm confused. Which part of the dream am I in?
No, you actually were in the car when it caught on fire, and that's how you fell into your coma. But it was only a very short coma. I should say that it wasn't a long one.
It's a good thing I got this protective beard.
That's right. That's right.
Save the moneymaker.
I made claim to having a beard this past weekend when I got out and I chopped a bunch of wood. I looked like a walking not an oxymoron. I just look like a walking, I don't know, like a billboard, like a walking billboard.
You were wearing flannel too,
for a man. I don't think I was wearing flannel, but I was chopping some wood like it was my job. And I did also have an ox.
You had an ox.
Yeah, he's blue.
In your pants. So one of my favorite things, like axe throwing, is really big up here right now.
Yeah,
has been for a few years. I guess it's kind of dying.
Like hatchets, like hatchet throwing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went with some friends, and everyone wears fucking plaid. And the first time I went, it was like downtown Toronto. So it's like a bunch of city people. Like, I'm going to do some outdoor things downtown. And they all wore plaid. And I was just looking around. Like, none of y'all have ever done this before. None of y'all have ever, like, know how to... You don't even know how to properly cut down a tree. And you're like, I'm going to axe throwing. I wear plaid. And it was just like, everyone. Like,
that's hilarious.
All of the like standard outfit for all of the women was blue jeans, brown boots, and red plaid. Like they were all wearing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, and let me guess who won. It was the dude who's just wearing a t-shirt, and a backwards hat, maybe some cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts. Allie loves cargo shorts.
Dude, that's the version of a
Dad
purse
pants.
for a man.
That's true, and that's what I tried to explain to her. I don't wear them. I used to wear them.
Yeah,
they're very practical pants.
Yeah,
but
I just keep my checkbook. I keep my checkbook and my chapstick, and a spare pair of underwear, and loose change, and And any, like, if I pop a button or something, I've got, I've got a half a sandwich. I've got a button. I've got a sewing kit. Butter. I've got, I've also got just a small container of like antiseptic and Band-Aids and pretty much a med kit pretty much in my pockets.
Speaking about Joe's, we should talk about the cool Joe Rogan. And I'm really appreciative that he is bringing fanny packs back into fashion.
I've not seen this. What has he been doing?
He just wears a fanny pack all the time.
He's just wearing a fanny pack around.
And I had another moment where I'm slowly becoming my dad, because I got a fanny pack for like hiking and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm starting to wear it just out and about, and I fucking love it.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a fanny pack. Let me just say that.
Okay.
I feel like somebody at some point was too cool to wear a fanny pack, and everybody looked up to this person so much that that one person ruined.
Yeah.
Huh?
Fuck that person who ruined fanny packs. They're brilliant, and it's the man's version of a purse, but it's hands-free on your hips, so you got good hip movements, good wiggles.
Yeah.
And, and you just can fit so much stuff in there.
Yeah, you know what it's really good for holding?
Wallets.
Camera film.
Keys. Camera film. Very important to carry these days.
Very important.
I carry my camera. I carry my phone. I carry my camera phone. Yep.
I carry about 4 disposable Kodak cameras.
Yeah, very good.
I just pick up at Walgreens for about 50 cents.
So my work got ordered some as part of like our swag kit for people who do like runs and stuff.
Disposable cameras?
No, fanny packs.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Although I did a couple of the weddings I've been to recently, they got a bunch of disposable cameras and just left them on the tables.
Sure.
I was like, guys, when you got those developed, how many dick pics? And they're like, a lot.
A lot of dicks.
Like there were a lot of pictures that the Staples was like, we can't give you these.
Oh my god.
I was like, God, that hilarious. Must be embarrassing. I probably took some of them. Not gonna lie, it's probably me.
Your dick's out there somewhere in a landfill. You got
it's in that creepy dude's like the guy who develops all the film.
Sure, he took it.
It's like in his basement. He's just got walls of like dick pics that he's confiscated from people who didn't know.
That's the splooge chamber.
The splooge chamber.
That's where he goes. He's like, I'm gonna descend into my splooge chamber now.
Descend into my. Who's he telling? I feel like if he has a splooge
his
chamber,
cats.
His cats. Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't his cats his cats would know though? Like imagine if you have a splooge chamber, you're spending a lot of time down there. So
yeah, and I feel like his cats just sort of stay as far away from him as they have to,
Yeah, because when he gets hungry, he just eats them, and they know that.
Must refill the splooge sack. Oh god, don't call it a splooge sack, dude. Gross.
Sack. Oh.
Gross. Oh, we went there.
So I was in San Antonio last week, which is why you had to do your solo podcast.
You told me to remind you about a story. I don't know if you want to lead off with that or if you want to work your way into it.
Oh, man, I don't even know. I'm just going to lead off to because it was probably the most interesting thing that happened to me, other than I had 2 moments where I almost got run over by a car.
Let's take a quick second to talk about the sponsor of today's podcast, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. We say it every week. Get that free 30-day trial and a free audiobook, guys. It's a great deal. And we're not one to just throw some shit deals at you. So head over and give that a look. The audiobook that I am going to recommend for the month of April, and this is no April Fool's joke, Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. This is a 5-hour and 51-minute long audiobook, unabridged, of course. So David Sedaris is a comedian. This audiobook starts with a North Carolina childhood filled with speech therapy classes. My brother actually had to take that. Unwanted guitar lessons taught by a midget. So, I mean, okay. From budding performance artist to clearly unqualified writing teacher in Chicago, Sedaris' career leads him to New York City and eventually, of all places, France. His move to Paris poses a number of challenges, chief among them is his inability to speak the language. I can relate. Arriving a spooky man-child capable of communicating only through nouns, he undertakes the language instruction that leads him ever deeper into cultural confusion, whether describing the Easter Bunny to puzzled classmates or watching a group of men play soccer with a cow. Sedaris brings a view and a voice like no other to every unforgettable encounter. So if that sounds like something that you guys want to listen to, sounds great to me. I'm probably going to check it out. I got 3 credits right now, and you best believe I'm using one of my credits on this one. So give it a listen, guys. If you don't want to listen to David Sedaris, and if you don't want to bang your elbow on the table like I just did, wouldn't recommend the second one. Definitely recommend the first one. But if you don't want to listen to that, there's over 180,000 different titles to choose from. That includes some Audible originals as well that you can get with your credit. So guys, take advantage of it. Really do. And we appreciate Audible so much for sponsoring our podcast each and every week. And we hope that you guys appreciate them as well. So let's get back to the motherfucking podcast.
Okay? Both times I was crossing the street and in the right of way.
Okay.
The first time I was like doing my thing, doing my crossing walk.
Shoulders, a lot of shoulders, yeah.
A lot of shoulders. You know, I'm hip. It was my first night. I'm like going to the Alamo. I don't know where the fuck I am. I got my GPS going.
Well, you remembered it. That was the important part.
I did, yes. It was the first thing I did, actually. Came in, checked my bags. There was like some kind of like junior high school debate team conference thing. So there's a bunch of dumb kids running around. I was like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, I don't care. Oh my God, this one girl, I wanted to ream her out so bad. There was a pretty long line of people checking in because there was like my conference and there's another conference and there's this junior high fucking shit show band camp thing.
Sure.
So there's a bunch of adults standing in a line trying to check in.
Okay.
And this girl who's probably like, I don't know, 13, 14, 16. I don't know what kids, I can't tell their ages anymore. I'm just old.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm old. They're young. That's all I can figure out.
Yeah, you can tell.
So I'm sitting there, and it's one of those hotels that have like the main counter in the front, and then to like the right, they have like a little section that you can go in. It's like the shop or whatever, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's like candy and like basic toiletries and whatever.
Sure.
So she goes in, and she grabs a bottle of water, and she's like standing in line. She's standing in line. You can hear her like complaining about the line. I'm like, yeah, kid, we're all standing in this fucking line. Okay? It sucks. Welcome to being an adult. Life sucks. Sometimes you just got to stand in line and fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
So then she gets the fucking cojones to just like walk up to the counter and be like, excuse me, can I pay for this? And like everyone looks at her. She just like skipped like 10 people.
Wow.
It's like, look, I know you need that water. And I know in your little world, you're the most important thing. But go fuck yourself, kid.
Yeah. That's the point when everybody else in that line should have risen up together and hoisted her above their heads and collectively hurled her out the door.
I agree. So, you know, I had to temper myself and just be like, it's okay. She's just a dumb kid, and she's going to be a dumb teenager, and then she's going to be a dumb 20-year-old. She's American, and her life sucks because she has no health care and no education. It's not her fault. So I let it go. And I got through, dropped off my bag.
Feel a little attacked? Feeling pretty attacked right now?
Hey, it's not your fault. I mean, it kind of is, but, you know, whatever. So I'm like cruising, and I always thought the Alamo was like outside of the city.
It's in the middle.
It's downtown in the middle, like half a mile walk from my hotel.
Yeah.
So I was pretty stoked because I thought I was like, oh, I want to go see it. I'm here. I'm gonna have to find a cab and do this and that. Blah blah. I'm busy. So I'm walking, and I'm doing my thing. I'm crossing the street, and I hear this car just like lay down on the horn on me as I'm walking on a crosswalk. Apparently they wanted to turn left and I wasn't going fast enough for them. And then I like kind of ignored it, and then they honked again and then started yelling at me outside of the window. So you know me in like fight or flight. My initial response is always like, gonna fight. So I like turn around like to give like the what the fuck is your problem look, and it's this fucking lowrider Cadillac, and it's a bunch of bald Latino dudes with like tattoos everywhere and And I turn around like, what? And then as I'm saying this, I'm like, oh fuck, you guys all have guns. And so they see my face and they start like flashing gang signs at me. And then I was just like, sorry. And I just like stopped in the middle of the road, was like, fucking go, man. Just go. I'll just stop right here. You do your thing. And then they like sped off and turned left in front of me and like flashed like gang signs at me. And I was like, I'm cool. I just want to go to the Alamo, man.
So Jonny almost got hit by a car and simultaneously shot by some gang members
in San Antonio for approximately an hour.
Oh gosh.
So then I went to the Alamo and I walked around, and then I went to the Riverwalk. But San Antonio is a beautiful city, and it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the second night, I think it was the second night, I was kind of bored. I was there for a conference, and I got there early because I did like a pre-conference thing, and so I knew some people that were coming, but they weren't there yet. And so I like went for dinner, and then I was like, what am I gonna do? And there was a big mall right close to my hotel, and they had a movie theater. So I was like, all right, I'll go see a movie. Like, that's cool. So I like look at my phone, what's playing, and the third How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll go see this. So I bought tickets and was like, oh, nice. Like assigned seating. It was pretty sold out. So I bought like a seat in the middle at the wall. It was like a smaller theater box. I think there were like, I don't know, 5 chairs per row. Like, but they were big lazy boys that like reclined, and there were
was this at an Alamo Draft House?
No, it was like an AMC theater.
Oh, okay.
Which I also enjoyed that the pre-show had like this alluded to, like, if there's a crazy shooter coming in, this is what you do. And I was like, God, I'm in fucking America. Like, this is something that AMC has to put in the beginning of their movies now. Of like,
cover their asses, yeah.
Look for suspicious behavior and report it to. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go report it to some like pimple-faced snot kid at the serving me popcorn. Yo, I think there's a gunman back here. You gonna do something about it? Like.
That's so funny too, because there's nobody who you would really trust at a movie theater to be like, oh, I'll stop this active shooter.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, great. So I'm chilling, and it said sold out. So when I bought my tickets, I didn't really have a lot of options. So it said sold out, and it was cheap. It was a Tuesday night, so it was like $7 to get in or something.
Okay.
So I just kind of assumed like, oh yeah, people probably bought a lot of tickets. Movie starts, and I had this whole row to myself. I was like, all right, this is pretty sick. I'm like, all right, cool. And I thought about moving over, and I was like, I'm comfy. My big leather seat's warm, and I, got this giant bin of popcorn and this giant soda. So I was like sprawled out. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just stay here. It's not bad. It's a small screen.
Right.
And a couple more people like filtered in, a couple people behind me, and a couple people in front of me. And they were the big lazy boys where the center console like could flip up so you could have like a love seat.
Yeah.
So then this younger couple, I don't know, late teens, I'm assuming late teens, comes in, and I can see them looking at their tickets, and I can see them like looking at the row. So they sit down in their seats that they're supposed to sit in, which happened to be right next to me. At this point, the movie is like 5 minutes in. We're 5 minutes into the movie. Maybe 10. So they were late getting popcorn, whatever. And maybe they thought the same thing, that there might be other people that are getting popcorn and are going to come in. So they flip up the center console thing, and they're kind of like, he's got his arm around her, and then like she like slowly like wiggles her way further down and down and down and down, and they're like kissing and like making weird noises, and then like she kind of disappears into his lap. And this whole time I'm like sitting there, and like her shoes are like up on like my armrest where my pop is.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going? Like, I have nowhere to go. There's a wall, and then there's a wall of like human entanglement next to me. And I just want to watch this fucking kids movie. And there are kids in this theater behind us. Like, I saw them.
Oh no.
Yeah. So they're like, I start hearing some weird things, start seeing some weird things, and I'm like trying to watch the movie, but out of the corner of my eye, I can see like this couple making it to basically third base.
Yeah, rounding home pretty much.
Right next to me, and I'm like looking over, like, what the fuck? And she's going down on him, like straight up like trying to stealthily go down on him with her like legs and ass like basically touching my arm. I'm like trying to like scoot over, but there's a wall, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do here? Like, I really want to watch this movie. I'm really excited about it. At the same time, there is this amazing shit show that's happening to my left right now that I feel like I have to witness this.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of like corner eyeing them, like, please fucking stop. This is really weird. There's kids behind me, and like, yeah, I guess you're kind of like hunkered down. They can't see, but like, I can fucking see. And so then like she like fidgets and like something finishes, and then she like gets up and scurries to the bathroom. The dude's like fixing his pants, and he looks over and he's like, yo, chill, dude. And I was like, did you just get a fucking blowy in the theater in a kid's movie with a bunch of kids, and then your gross ass girlfriend had like all of her shit all over me, like kicking my popcorn. It's like, where the fuck am I right now? And
what you didn't tell me is that actually wasn't an AMC. That was like the
Jerk House Theater.
Yeah, it was the Jerk House Theater, and those weren't kids. Those were little people.
I mean, if it was, I'd be okay with that. Like, I support that. But no, it was 100% an AMC theater, and this fucking dude has the audacity to say like, "Yo, chill, man." I was like, "What do you mean chill? You just got a blowjob next to me and didn't say shit. I couldn't leave. I was stuck. I got sexually assaulted in the movie theater, and that is the second time in a year that I've gone to the States and been part of an involuntary three-way, and I don't like it."
That was like the least like you just didn't put anything into that three-way. I think that's what everybody should take away from this story, is not how like weird and gross it was. It was that Johnny's the lazy third leg of three-way.
That's right. I was like, should I smack her ass or something? Like,
yeah, you should.
Is that what she wanted? Because she was like,
a finger.
She was
or
like
something.
propping it up. Like,
yeah.
I was like, what do you want me to do here? Can you not touch me with your gross ass shoes, please? Like,
was she wearing breakaways?
No, she was not.
No, would have made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
then.
So that kind of, put a little damper on the movie. And then they both got up and left their seats for like 15 minutes. So maybe they had to go and smash one out really quick in the bathroom. Or
during that time, did you get up and actually move seats since there was
I couldn't. No. Well, he was there, and then they left, and I was like, okay, maybe they're gone. Maybe they just came in, and now they're embarrassed.
That's when you just move.
And then they just came back with more food.
That's when you just get up and leave.
I was in shock, okay? I was just assaulted.
You should have gone up to the dude behind the counter and been like, "Hey, look.
I saw something suspicious."
I saw something suspicious. It wasn't a gun, but it was it
was a little
It was loaded. It was loaded, whatever it was.
Yeah, so that was a good time. That was something else.
So you said that's the second time that you were involved in an involuntary three-way. Do you want to share the first time?
Yeah, sure. It was May 12th last year. Okay. Allie and I were in Chicago.
Okay.
I got a promotion and we celebrated by like.
And you were getting a blowy in a theater. And...
No. I was not the guy getting a blowy in either of these scenarios.
So you were sitting right next to another person, even though there was all this room.
This one was on the train. So Allie and I go to a Cubs game.
Okay.
Which was awesome, except it got rained out for like 10 hours and it was freezing fucking cold. And then they played for like an hour and then it got delayed again. And then they like waited. And I was like, Al, we've been here for 8 hours. We've seen 3 innings of baseball. Like, I just want to go. I want to leave.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, that's fair. I mean, we paid a lot of money for tickets. We got great seats, whatever. So we go, we grab a bite to eat in the area. And then we get on the train. And the train is fucking packed.
Mm-hmm.
Packed. So Al, like when we kind of scurried in, we got separated. So there was like, I was on one side of like the wall of the train. And Al was like on the other, like just across from me. And then there was like a pole. And then this like guy and his girlfriend kind of weasel their way in and they're squeezing. So she's like kind of leaning like pressed, like we're in sardines, right? Like we're sardines in this subway or this train. So she's like basically laying on me and they're like talking and giggling and she's like moving around and I'm like, I'm fucking right here. Like, can you try and create some space? Can you guys maybe come a little bit closer together? No, he's drunk and like keeps getting closer to her and closer to her, pushing into her. So she's pushing into me, and then I'm getting pushed into the back of the train, like the wall.
Right.
And so then they're like talking, and then they start kissing and like making out fucking hardcore. And this whole time, Allie just sees me like wide-eyed, like, what do I do right now? Like, his face is like right next to me. Like, he's like kissing the mic, like if the mic was her head. So like my fist is like, so he's like looking, and a few times I'm just like, and she's like grinding on him, but like inadvertently grinding on me, and Allie's fucking dying because I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then this dude a few times like making out, head turned, would like look and make eye contact with me, and I was just like, please, like, stop. Like, why is this happening?
Oh shit!
What do I do? You want me to like grind on your girlfriend while you're making out with her and making eye contact with me? Like,
yeah. So you popped a boner.
I did, and it made him embarrassed. And then you know it was all good.
And you cleared the train because everybody was terrified.
Yep. I was like, all right.
Everybody's like, oh shit, there's a snake.
I'm really thankful they were getting off at the next stop, and then they got off, and Al just looked at me and started laughing. And I was like, did you see that? Like, what the actual fuck just happened?
Chicago, man.
That's what happened. Chicago.
Good old Chicago, home of Al Capone.
Yep. Yep.
Gangster, dude.
Gangster, straight up G.
Man.
Yeah. So those are my 2 involuntary threeways that happened in the U.S. almost exactly a year apart.
What does an involuntary three-way in Canada look like?
I mean, I assume it'd be the same thing. It's just they've only happened to me in the States.
Because people they show respect in Canada.
Yeah, we're polite.
Everybody's in single file line at all times.
Yeah, and if you bump into someone, it's an argument over who's more sorry.
It's sort of like Japan, where they all just they bow to each other over and over again, and the last person that bows is the most. And
they just bow lower and lower and lower until they're sucking each other off. And then the dude that's behind them is in an involuntary three-way. That's how that happens.
I'm sorry that happened to you, dude. But let me tell you something. In all of my years of living in the States, that has never, ever happened to me. So I don't know what it says about you that you show up to the States and get thrown in the middle of a three-way.
I know. You know?
A clothed, awkward, uncomfortable three-way.
Semi-clothed. The first one was fully clothed. The second one was, I'd say there's probably 40% nakedness there. 30% nakedness.
Okay. Yeah, just enough to
just the tip,
probably just enough to be considered R and not X rated.
Yeah, exactly. It was a hard R, but not quite X rated. I didn't actually see any dong. She did a good job at taking it all, I guess.
Might not have been that big. Maybe that's why he was like, "Hey, chill, man."
Maybe
because he's overcompensating. I think any dude that's just like openly getting a BJ that close to somebody else, and then has the audacity to say, "Hey, chill, man." Yeah, that person's got the smallest wiener in the world,
or some really big balls.
Maybe both.
Yeah, you never know. Should have asked. Yo, can I see those balls on yours? Because they must be fucking huge.
Look like fucking avocados, and then the twig that they're hanging off of. That's what it looks like, man.
Yeah, so that was
Jonny,
my trip to San Antonio.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Welcome to San Antonio, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have handy your other questions that you needed to get to for your solo?
I think so.
I've got a couple of them.
Okay, you rock yours, and then I'll see if I can pull mine up.
Okay, so I had actually one of the elementary school teachers that was at my school whenever I went there. I sort of hooked back up with him, and now I'm friends with him on Facebook, which is sort of funny. But he wanted us to talk about the cons of vaping.
Oh, the cons. Popcorn lung?
That's something I've heard about, but is that like an actual documented condition?
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. You can get some weird popcorn lung thing. I mean, you have nicotine addiction. My understanding, and don't quote me on this. I just, I will openly admit that this is just regurgitating headlines. Haven't really dug into it, but they are starting to link it to some other health concerns. So, which again, it makes sense. You're taking a chemical or a substance and vaporizing it and stuffing it full in your lungs, which is one of the easiest ways to get things in your bloodstream. And then, what do you expect?
I guess that's true. I thought that it was mostly like, what is it called? Glycerin or whatever, where
it's like sugar water and nicotine. But I mean, I think anytime you're putting fluid in your lungs, you're at a risk of some kind of issue, right?
Sure. And I think that, I know that there are nicotine-free versions of or for vaping, but like my whole point of vaping is like, okay, you got an addiction to nicotine, whatever. You don't want to do the patches because you don't want to do the patches because that just doesn't fucking do it for you, or the gum, whatever.
Gum
you don't
is
want
the way to go.
Okay,
it's a great stimulant. You should do it, and then maybe you'll start working out. You fat fuck.
You know what? The one thing that I'm always thinking of when I laugh hard, I feel my belly jiggle around.
Oh,
and so that's like a constant reminder, that I can't laugh too hard now, which sort of sucks.
You got to get that belly rumble.
Yeah, but as far as vaping goes, and if you're not hooked on nicotine, then why do it in the first place?
The flavor, I don't know. Like the hand, you're just I imagine it's habitual, right? Sucking on a little robot dick. Blowing sick clouds, bro.
Yeah, bro. Fucking sick clouds, dude.
So I've never owned a vape, like a big one. I've used them when I've had, because I have friends that vape, and I do see the allure. I have a very addictive personality. I did go through a small phase of smoking. Not when you think, Mom. I was a lot older.
And not what you're thinking, Mom. It was crack.
Yeah, exactly. Just go for the good stuff. But no, I was working. I was 18, and my partner was an avid smoker, and he would just be like, "Here's a cigarette." So I kind of like started as like, "Oh, well, he's offering whatever," and I would like casually smoke at a party or whatever, drunk cigarette. And then, it would be like after every job we did, be like, "Here's a cigarette, here's a cigarette, here's a cigarette." And then I got to the point where one like Saturday afternoon, I went and I bought a pack of cigarettes. And I was like 18 or 19 at the time. And I had this moment where I bought this pack of cigarettes, and I remember sitting in my car being like, this is a turning point in my life of,
right,
am I about to go from that like casual social smoker to now I just carry a pack of cigarettes with me. And I took one out and I threw the pack away and then didn't touch it. And I would like have the odd cigar here and there or whatever, but very infrequent.
Right.
And then like vaping became a thing, and it was the same thing. I knew if I touched it, I'd get into it, and that sweet nicotine would get into me, and I'd be so fucking hooked.
Yeah.
And then I had a little breakdown, and I bought a Juul. And I liked it because it didn't make big clouds. It was small. It was easy. It tasted fine. Didn't make you smell. I got like the mint one, and I love the mint flavor. And I was like sucking on that thing all the time. Like just all the time.
Somebody that just scrubbed to this part of the podcast where you said I was sucking on this thing all the time.
All the time,
is
baby.
so confused.
Baby. So I had the thing for probably, I don't know, 5 weeks maybe.
Okay.
And then that was one of the things that when my car got broken into, they stole. Like they stole my Juul. And I would just leave it in my car usually, because I would like suck it in the mornings on the way to work and then on the way home, or like to and from the gym, just to give me that little nicotine boost, because it is a stimulant.
Sure.
Like, appetite suppressant, got me energized, helped me focus. Like there was some good side effects, and I didn't feel as bad because I wasn't taking in massive amounts of cloud, vapor, whatever.
Right.
And there's no tar like a cigarette, so it was like nicotine and a little bit of sugar water.
Sure.
And then I had the same moment where I was really fucking pissed at that they took my Juul.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it and was like, do I want to buy another one?
Yeah.
Do I really need this in my life? Do I really want to keep doing this?
Replace it with coffee.
Well, so I drink a lot of coffee now. But that was another moment where I said, you know what? This person stole it, and they're doing me a favor, and I'm not going to be mad, and I haven't touched one since.
Congratulations, dude.
I just drink about a pot of coffee every day.
There you go.
Sometimes
so I guess that pretty much covers, I guess, the cons of vaping. I don't know a whole lot. I know my brother works at a vape shop. He manages it or whatever, but I don't know too much of the medical part behind it. I'm sure he probably would have some differing views on this. Maybe at some point we can get Nick on here.
I'll try and do some research and see what I can come up with that's a little bit more, sound than scientifically sound than me reading some articles and being like, I should read this and then forgetting to.
Yeah. Although popcorn lung does sound delicious.
Well, tastes like butter. I would say in general, it's probably better if you don't smoke anything.
Mm-hmm. Except that Mary Jane.
Well, I mean, that has been proven to also cause cancer if you smoke it in a dry herb form. If you vaporize it, it's a little bit better for you. So,
Mary Jane.
I mean, talking on your cell phone causes cancer.
It's true.
And this is what it comes down to, too, is it's like quadruples your risk of getting lung cancer. It's like, great, but if your likelihood of getting lung cancer based on your current activities is 0.5% or 1%, is it really that? Is that stats is like a good way to lie, right? Anytime you say quadruples, it's like it sounds really bad, but really, what is the designated impact of that? It's pretty small.
Sure,
but it sounds fucking scary, right? Which is why I feel like if it was a serious stat, if it was like it takes your chance of getting lung cancer from 5% to 40%, I'd be like, all right, or even 5% to 20%.
Sure,
I would say that's
that's enough.
Quadruples. That's enough to make it worrisome.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's more than quadruples.
No, 5 to 20.
Yeah,
you're
right.
That's quadruple.
Right. Yeah.
You got it. You did the quick math.
I did it. I did it right. Yes, quick math, John. Woo! Just second guess myself there. I was thinking about other equations at the same time. That was probably the problem. But you know what I mean? Like that to me, like going from 5% to 20 or 40 is like that's a significant jump. But going from 1% to 4% that's probably a gamble I'd be willing to take.
Yeah, I mean, that's a gamble you feel safer taking, right? Yeah. I mean, you still hear of people who have smoked their whole lives, and they're like 80-something years old. There's
happen. And there are people who've never smoked to get lung cancer, and lung cancer isn't always caused by smoking. That's one of the biggest stigmas around lung cancer and why it is drastically underfunded in the research world. Because most people feel like if you get lung cancer, it's your own fault. But the reality is smoking-based lung cancer is not like the lion's share of causes of lung cancer, and that a lot of cancers will metastasize into the lungs. So you get lung cancer, but it's typically because you've had a different type of cancer that you didn't know, and then it grew into your lungs. Gotcha.
Yes. Well, there you go. That makes sense because you got all the, especially if it becomes bloodborne or whatever, exactly. you got a lot of blood circulating through that area. So.
You sure do. So that would be a brief pros and cons. Pros: delicious, energizing, fun, addictive, robot dicks. You look like a douche, but also cool at the same time.
You look like a dragon douche.
Makes you happy. Downsides: probably illness. You'll look like a douche. You're sucking on a robot dick. You're you're addicted to something, which is never a good thing.
Pretty much all the pros, but with a little twist on it.
Yeah, it just comes down to what do you want to be in life, And I have friends that vape religiously, and I'm cool with it. It's just, and I'll still pick one up every once in a while, but I just do like one hit and I'm done. And there are better things to smoke in this world.
I will say, crack. Yeah, like crack. I will say the one benefit that from just a person who doesn't do it at all, is that it doesn't smell gross.
No, that is true. That is a huge benefit. Is that I don't mind walking. You're walking down the street and you see someone vaping, like, strawberry pie. I'm all right with this. It's kind of weird to think that came out of their body.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I've had a couple people while I've been Ubering that have been like, "Hey, do you mind if I vape in your car?" I'm like, "No."
No, that's a downside. If they do it a lot, you'll get a film on your windows of like the vapor shit. So be
sure, yeah, but they roll. No, I mean they roll the window down whenever they. Yeah, so I'm like, just roll the window down. And you can do whatever, but we won't focus too much on the pros there, Jeff. Thanks for that topic, Johnny. We have probably enough time to squeeze in one of yours.
So Wally sent a very simple question, and it said, pegging.
Wait, was it a question, or did it have a period at the end of it?
Well,
because I'm gonna judge Wally based on the punctuation on this.
My statement was something along doing a solo podcast. What do you want me to talk about? So I didn't ask four questions. Gotcha. He just said pegging in general. So this is something that Wally and I have had a few conversations on, and my interpretation is that Wally's looking at shaking things up in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But, he's a bit of a man's man.
Sure.
And he's a little bit afraid of some butt play.
Sure. Doesn't know if he wants something going in there. Yeah.
And I think he's just really looking for a support group.
Okay, so he's looking to potentially get some support from the jumbled community is what I'm hearing.
So jumbled community, don't kink shame.
No, I would never.
Completely okay. Can be enjoyable.
Sure.
And there are a lot of people that love it. So Wally, if it's on your mind, just give it a try. What's the worst case that can happen? You don't like it? You maybe get an anal tear and bleed to death. It's all good.
Just don't push it too hard.
Start small. Start slow.
Start small.
Use lots of lubrication. Have a very healthy diet. Maybe do a good enema or a douche your butthole.
Yeah, I would start with a pinky in the shower.
Yeah, and again, we all know my saying: if you're not 2 knuckles deep, you're not clean. So that's a good place to safely practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So in that way, you can just sort of be at your own pace.
I did hear a fucked up story, which kind of goes along the line with butt play, which is really popular. Do you ever think it's weird that we're a generation that believes in the 5-second rule, but eating ass is like super popular?
Like, I don't believe in the 5-second rule. Can I just say that? Unless it's like a liquid or like some sort of something with a condiment or something like if it's dry food.
Yeah.
If it's dry food,
I don't care.
Mythbusters
did a thing and proved that it doesn't matter how long it sits on the ground. Like you're just picking up all the bacteria.
I think so. So the moment it touches the ground, it picks up some.
Yeah.
And then obviously the longer it stays on the ground, the more time bacteria has to find that item. So there is some science behind it. You're still picking up some bacteria, but I've lived my life up to this point.
And you're just
in a way where I don't.
You drop some M&Ms in the bathroom stall where everyone pisses all the time.
No, I've never eaten anything off a bathroom floor.
I had weird experience. Oh, another weird experience in San Antonio, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was peeing, and there was a dude FaceTiming his wife while he was peeing at the urinal. I was like, dude,
where are we?
I'm peeing. Like, I don't care, but there's like other people in here that probably do care. And why do you think that this is acceptable?
Right. Speaking sort of that, it's similar, and we're getting off pegging a little bit, but
well, I'll bring it back. I got a story for you.
I've so from time to time I'll send a naughty picture or something to my wife, on Snapchat. And so,
I'm just waiting for the day you accidentally. What's Steph's name on Snapchat? I'm gonna make mine as close to it as possible.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you later. All right. So I got a little rambunctious, sent something to her.
You did.
And this was while she took a personal day. to go out to opening day at Kauffman Stadium for the Royals. So she's out tailgating, whatever, with some friends, and she'd had, a drink or two or whatever. So I send it through. She's not thinking. She's sitting next to these people, and she opens it up. And so there are a couple people out there that have just seen my junk.
Oh, you went right for the dick pic, like a zoom in.
Oh, or was dude, yeah, I don't know. It was like a bouquet. I bunched it all up.
Oh, you did the flower?
Yeah, dude. I wanted to make it nice,
That's not like sexual. That's like kind of funny, but it's your dick, so it's considered like sexting, I guess. But like, penis puppetry is brilliant. I love it.
It was angry though. It wasn't.
It was an angry bouquet.
No, it wasn't just like it wasn't a wilted flower. It was like a full mass sort of situation. And I'm sorry to my family if you're listening to this right now. but Grandma doesn't know about the podcast, so it's all right.
Yet.
Not yet. Oh God, don't tell her about it.
Send her a bouquet.
Oh God, yeah, I would have to actually send her an actual flower arrangement and be like, I'm so sorry. No, so I sent that to, and so there are a couple people that hang around with her that I may have to interact with
that have seen your dick and balls.
That have seen the whole downstairs mix up.
All half inches of pure pleasure.
Half inches. Yeah, multiple half inches put together.
Well, it slowly unveils itself.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
I'm a grower.
I did eat at Dick's when I was in San Antonio.
Okay.
And I was extra brave and I went by myself.
Okay.
You know what Dick's is, right?
No, I don't know.
There's one in Des Moines. It's a restaurant where the servers are supposed to be dicks to you.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you're the lonely guy eating by himself.
Oh my God, they fucking dug into me so hard and I was living it up. Just fucking loved it. So then I was like giving it back to my waitress like pretty hard. Like she'd like walk by and like pick a fry off my plate and like she brought my meal that was like, your fries aren't done. There were like 4 fries on my plate and I was like, motherfucker, I was really looking forward to those fries. And then she like came back with like this whole basket and just like slammed it on the table. And like there's a bunch of like condiments, but they're all fucking empty. So then I was like, yo, can I get some ketchup? She's like, Jesus, you have like 4 bottles right there. I'm like, yo, they're all empty. She's like, well, don't eat them all, you fat ass.
That's gotta be the perfect job, dude.
Yeah,
Can you imagine you just get to be an asshole to everybody?
I made her break character a few times because I just started chatting with her and whatever, and like was like living into it. And then she would like say something, and whenever she like got like pissed me off to the point or like said something, and I wanted to get her back, I would just like pick up my plate, and I would like hold it off the table, and be like, I will fucking drop this right now. And I know you gotta pick it up. She'd be like, please don't, and I'd like fake drop it, like, huh? And she's like, please don't drop it. I was like, are you saying you're sorry? She's like, no. And then I'd be like, I'm gonna drop this. So then I would like put it back, and then I had a menu, and she like came to take. She's like, you don't need this anymore, you ordered. And I was like, whoa, what if I want a second meal? And she's like, fine. So then she puts it back. She's like, keep it clean. So I like took my water and I just poured it all over the menu. But where was I going with this? Oh, so like I ribbed her pretty hard, and then like asked her, I was like, how do you get this job? And like, and I was like, is it harder to pretend to be a dick to someone all the time, or to be serving at a regular restaurant and have to be nice to people who are dicks all the time? She's like, that's a really good question. Honestly, it's 50-50. Sometimes you know it is hard to be an ass, or you have to figure it out. And I said, how do you get this job? Like, she was in computer science for school, and like she was a pretty smart girl. And she's like, well, the interview process, like I had a friend, so they do like a training day. So then the management comes and sits down, and you have to serve the management in character. And that's the job interview, is you have to come and be a dick to the manager. I was like, that's pretty tight. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So she knew I was there for business because she asked why I was here. She's like, oh, you're eating alone, loser. Well, I'm like, I don't know anyone. She's like that matters. You're probably eating alone at home too. So she knew I was for business, and then I got my receipt, and I asked for the receipt so I can expense it. And she's like, oh, like it's out of paper. I'll be right back. And then she like brought me back this crumpled piece of paper, and I just assumed it was the receipt or whatever. Yeah. It looked like it was the receipt. I kind of like folded it up and it had the same total. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks. And I leave. And then I get back to my office, and it's our fiscal year end, and I have to do my expenses. So I pull out this receipt, and this girl, she won. She drew a giant dick on the receipt, and then wrote in it, "Thanks for putting dicks in your mouth. I hope you liked it." And then like put a happy face. So I have to submit this fucking receipt that has a giant dick on it.
Expensify, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, touche.
That's awesome.
Anyways, on that note, I will save the anal story for later because we are rolling overtime, and I want to go eat dinner.
Okay. Jonny, make a note to make sure to circle back around to that because I'm really looking forward.
Wally, we'll get back to your this was intro to pegging. Next week we'll dig a little deeper, digging you out.
Love it. All right, guys, thank you for checking in. Want to say we appreciate you guys so much. If you could, please head over to iTunes, give us a rating and review. Send any additional questions, thoughts about the podcast, your own personal stories. Who cares? We do. That's who cares. And send it to jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com if you're just wanting Jonny to see it. And thank you to our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. There's Johnny's nipples. You guys can't see it. I am a lucky man. And want to say head over to patreon.com/jumbled. Donate $500. Get us an address. We appreciate you guys so much. Follow us on all social media @Jumbled Podcast. Listen to us on Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. There's Johnny's nipples. You guys can't see it. I am a lucky man. And want to say head over to patreon.com/jumbled. Donate $500. Get us an address. We appreciate you guys so much. Follow us on all social media @Jumbled Podcast. Listen to us on all major podcasting platforms: Stitcher, Spotify, Libsyn, iTunes, Google Play Music. Things. We're everywhere.
You're listening to us now. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep
on the next one.
Keep on going.
Just listen to them all.
Again, one last time. Please, 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 please. I don't know how much more I can beg. I have no shame. I'll beg for as